up, guys? Crypto User here with your daily news and analysis in the crypto markets. And look at XRP trending on Twitter. Top 10 mentions on Twitter in the last hour. XRP 1,413 mentions. I mean, the closest behind that is Bitcoin at 297. A lot of hype around XRP at the moment. You know, when you go through Twitter and you go through social media right now, you know, either good or bad, people are talking about Ripple and XRP, and that's the best thing we could see, right? We want to see more talk. We want to see more attention around the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, and we're starting to see more and more as the weeks go by. And as this lawsuit is coming to its end, it's really looking like XRP is going to win out, especially in the lawsuit, we know that, but I think XRP is going to win out when we have our alt season coming in the next couple months or so. So, you know, great sign to see that we're trending here. Like I said, a lot of hype around XRP at the moment. So not financial advice, but if you don't hold a bag of XRP at this time, you should probably rethink that, right? So let's get into the video. But before I do, guys, if you guys could please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, it'd be very much appreciated. But let's get right into it. The first video I want to show you guys is this is David Schwartz. If you guys don't know who David Schwartz is, he is the CTO at Ripple. He's also the one of the co-creators of the XRP Ledger. Him, Arthur Brito, and Jed McCaleb created the XRP Ledger back in 2000. I want to say 2010 or 11. It was right around. So they were all. So I think him and Arthur Brito were programmers on the Bitcoin blockchain. And when they created XRP, they wanted to make, in the XRP Ledger, they wanted to make a better version of Bitcoin, right? They had nothing against Bitcoin. They just thought that the proof of work system and the scalability of that system just didn't, it didn't work for the peer-to-peer payment system that, you know, Satoshi Nakamoto first envisioned, right? You know, Bitcoin's not very good for payments. It's slow. It costs too much money. They wanted, when they created the XRP Ledger, they wanted to create a faster, more scalable, greener crypto, right? And that's why they came up with the consensus mechanism and not proof of work. And, you know, people can hate on that about XRP, but the fact is it's a better technology. And anybody that says otherwise is lying to themselves and to you. XRP is a better technology. It is faster. It is more scalable. It is better for the environment. All around, honestly, a better digital asset. Yes, you know, I hold XRP. I hold Bitcoin, and the reason for that is it's the OG, right? There's only going to be 21 million of them. For now, it is the use case for Bitcoin is the store of value. It's digital gold, right? But how long can that last, right? If there's no real use case with Bitcoin, it's only valuable for as long as people think it is, right? So it's like Bitcoin, obviously, I see it having holding value for the next 5 to 10 years. But after that, can you really make that bet? You know, with XRP, I can, if it's being used for its full potential as part of the monetary system for payments globally, that use case is solidified for the next at least 100 years, right? So when I look at Bitcoin and XRP, yes, I believe in the future of Bitcoin, but I believe in the future of XRP much more, right? So yes, I hold both of them, and I think a Bitcoin could get to 100,000, 200,000 for sure in the next 5 to 10 years, but the long-term viability of both the tokens, I lean towards XRP, and that's just my 4.5, 5 years of research, and that's the conclusion I came to. And people can argue with me on that, and I will gladly debate anybody that wants to, come on the channel and have that conversation, because I believe that's a constructive and important conversation to have. But that's just my opinion. That's where my research took me. And like I said, people can have, different opinions on that. But let's just watch this video real quick. So David Schwartz, genius, by the way. One of the big reasons why I believe in XRP so much is because of this man right here. So listen to what he just says he's here, and then we'll talk about it after. The point he's trying to make here.
the internet analogy. Like, the internet made it much, much harder to control the flow of information across borders. And information is one of the most valuable things that can cross borders. Like, this was a very, very, I know I'm older than many people, but like, that was a very, very big deal. Like, the control of the flow of information across borders was just as important to governments as the control of the flow of anything else across borders. And they almost entirely lost that in favor of the internet. And I think if they're going to lose it to stable coins and cryptocurrencies, they're going to lose it no matter what they do. Like, they're not going to be able to stuff the genie back in the bottle. And so they're going to have to start looking for constructive regulatory solutions, and sooner rather than later, because other countries are going to do the same. I know I've kind of circled back to this.
He's making a great point there where, the internet was the first time where information was free to cross borders, right? Information could get out to the whole world without, being a centralized authority that could stop that information from moving, right? And at the beginning of the internet, we had these closed internets in each country. And then when it became this like social media cross-border information sharing device, the people that controlled that information for years were afraid of that, right? They couldn't control that information anymore. And with crypto, now it's, they've always controlled currency and value, right? Governments, the way they print money, the way they use currency to control the populations. With cryptocurrency, this is the greatest thing. This is why Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper, when it first came out, it was so revolutionary because, it was the first currency that wasn't controlled by central authority, that wasn't controlled by powerful people that wanted to, control the populations. So this is why cryptocurrency is such a big deal. And this is why you're seeing so much pushback from the powers that be. They don't want to lose the control. They've had it for so many years. But like David Schwartz is saying here, the genie is out the bottle. It is happening. So it's up to them now to put forth some regulation, because we do need regulation, obviously, because there are some bad actors out there. There's pump and dump schemes. There's scams out there. So yes, we need real regulation, but not regulation that like the SEC is dealing with right now that kills innovation in this country. So I just thought that was a great. I love hearing David Schwartz talk. The guy's a genius. The way he talked, what he just mentioned there about the internet being the revolutionary idea of, information moving cross borders, and now with XRP and Ripple, it's basically moving money cross borders, frictionless, and for less than a penny. Takes 3 to 5 seconds. This is truly revolutionary stuff, guys. So the next thing I have here is a quote from Brad Garlinghouse that he said, I believe this is a month ago. Yeah, March 3rd, 2022. He said that I was meeting with Chairman Clayton and I met with SEC commissioners, and no one ever once said XRP is a security. And this is a huge statement to make, because the whole argument the SEC is trying to make in this lawsuit against Brad Garlinghouse, against Chris Larsen and Ripple, is that the two, Brad and Chris, were reckless in the way they sold XRP, because they should have known better, right? They should have known that they were selling a security, and they should have known they were doing something illegal. If you're gonna have, irks me so much. So if you can have meetings with these two executives at this company, right? In the last 2 years before this, they brought the lawsuit, and they're coming in and saying, you just gave Ethereum a free pass. Like, what's up with XRP? Are we a security? Are we not a security? Let us know how to make sure we're doing something in the right way, right? They've always been 100% transparent in everything they do with Ripple's business and their sales of XRP. They're in conversations with the SEC, and they're saying, hey, how can we comply? Are we doing anything illegal? Let us know. And the SEC time and time again said nothing. And meanwhile, basically what they were doing was having meetings with, CTO David Schwartz and Brad Garlinghouse here, and stealing their ideas, their business strategy, their technology. Meanwhile, they weren't giving them clarity if XRP was a security or not. And then 2 years later, now they're saying, no, you should have known this whole time that you were selling a security. But you never. It's like. It's like, the analogy is like, in a baseball game or something, the referee's not telling you the rules of the game, and then you go to play the game, and then they basically, slap down and say, you should have known better. It's like, well, you didn't give us the rules. How are we supposed to know we couldn't do this? It makes no sense. It just further, demonstrates that, the SEC never thought XRP was a security. This was always used as a weapon to slow down Ripple and to help Ethereum. Because, they can call us conspiracy theorists all they want, but that Ethereum free pass speech that Bill Hindman gave in 2018, it very well definitely helped Ethereum out. We know that for sure, right? And, Bill Hindman was getting paid $15 million from a law firm that was, highly staked in Ethereum. And then Jay Clayton, on the other hand, was, when he left the SEC, he went to work for 2 crypto funds and One River Capital, which is highly invested in Ethereum. So obviously, this Ethereum free pass speech that Bill Hindman gave benefited Bill Hindman and Jay Clayton to the furthest extent. These guys are making millions of dollars now because of that speech. So, like I said, you can call us conspiracy theorists all you want, but the facts are there. And no one has tried to discredit these facts. And we're still waiting, right? You go on crypto law, John Deaton's website, Crypto Law, the facts are there. No one's disputing these facts. So, like I said, don't call us conspiracy theorists until you read those facts. And if you can, argue with that, let's hear it, right? We haven't heard anything. So the next thing, this is so true. When I read this, I was like, this is exactly what's happening. So this was ex-captain tweeted this out. It's like the SEC is saying to the judge, we took out the lawsuit against Ripple on December 2020, and we haven't found anything yet, but maybe if we could, have more time, we might find something that we could use against Ripple. Install XRP adoption a bit longer. It's so true. It's like when they came with the lawsuit, they didn't have their case in order. And as this thing has been going along, they've been, maybe we can use this, maybe we can use this. It's like, how do you come down with a lawsuit and not have, your ducks in order and know what your case is? That just further demonstrates again that this was never about XRP being a security. It was all about using the lawsuit as a weapon against Ripple. Because, we've been following this case for so long. It's been a year and 3 months now. And the SEC has shown that they have been so unprepared in this case. And it's been them that have been on the back foot this whole time, right? They're asking for more time because they need, find evidence here, or they need more time for this or that. It's so blatantly obvious that the SEC is so unprepared for this lawsuit. I think they just thought that they could, the SEC is so used to winning these cases that they just thought Ripple would just fold over and take a settlement and take the loss. But boy, were they wrong. They definitely did not think about the XRP community, and they definitely didn't think that Ripple would fight like this. So just love it. And, I said this on the last channel, on the last video, as much as this lawsuit is terrible, we never want to go through this, it's hurting our investment and all that, but you got to look at the bright side of this. We never would have dug up this dirt about the SEC, about the Ethereum free pass. A lot of information would have, stayed in the dark if this lawsuit didn't come down. So, it's the SEC's fault. They brought this lawsuit and they basically awakened a monster of the XRP community and really dug up the dirt. And, at some point I believe there will be an investigation into the SEC about this, conflicts of interest here, because you can't look past it, right? And let's get into it a little bit. This is John Deaton on the next one here. It was a live Twitter chat the other day, and John Deaton went over why these Hindman speech emails are so important, right? And let's just read his tweet here. So we have learned not only are there 63 emails related to that speech, but there are 52 drafts of the speech. Now, when I heard this was crazy. So there's 52 different versions of the speech that they have. 52, guys. This wasn't a long speech. It was only a 5-page, it took them maybe 5 minutes to say the speech. It's not a very long speech. So you're telling me there's 52 drafts of that speech? And the main point, what John Deaton was saying in this thread here, I'm not going to read the thread because it's very long, but you're telling me in those 52 drafts and 63 emails that had to do with that speech, XRP was not mentioned once? During this time back in 2018 especially, XRP and Ethereum were battling over that number 2 spot for years, right? It was always, and XRP was the only digital asset to ever surpass Ethereum for that number 2 spot. So it's always been that battle between XRP and Ethereum. So you're telling me when they're going about, writing these, 52 drafts of the speech, you're telling me that no one's trying to say, maybe we should mention XRP in this, right? Because Ethereum and XRP are very much on the same level. If we're going to give Ethereum a free pass, we got to give clarity to XRP, right? So, like I said, you got to think 52 drafts. You're telling me XRP wasn't mentioned once, and in this thread, this is where it gets really interesting. And this was something that I think people forgot about because there's so much information coming down on a daily basis. But here it is. Ripple lawyers informed the court very recently that they believe the SEC could be concealing potentially evidence that Hindman himself or others within the SEC may have analyzed XRP and concluded it was not a security. And this was due to that filing that Attorney Solomon made, where he basically said in the filing that we might have some evidence that Bill Hindman came to the conclusion within the SEC that XRP was not a security. And this was back in 2018. So if they came to the conclusion, and we know there was a internal investigation into XRP back in 2018, they came to the conclusion that they were not going to bring a lawsuit back then. So, this is the smoking gun, I believe, because if there's something in those emails of those drafts that say that we came to, the SEC came to the conclusion that XRP was not a security, but then they didn't put it in the speech. And they gave Ethereum that free pass, but didn't mention XRP, and they maybe took it out of the speech, as those drafts were written. That's a smoking gun. And what John Deaton says further in this thread is basically, if that's the case, right, the SEC is going to go, as hard as they can to not try and let those drafts and those emails be seen. Because if they do, like I said, that's a smoking gun. That's game over for the SEC. And that's not only game over for the SEC in this lawsuit, that's game over for the SEC in regulating crypto as a whole. So you better believe they are not going to give up those documents. And he says at the end here that, and this is what I've been saying a lot on this channel too, is that when the judge finally forces them to hand over those emails and those drafts of the speech, that's when the SEC will settle. And he says, as soon as, and this is crazy, so hence, if we get a ruling that they must turn over those documents, I believe the case settles within 60 to 90 days from the decision. So say the decision comes down in, say end of April, right? End of April, the judge, obviously the SEC appeals all these rulings, but finally comes down and says, the judge comes down and says, you have to hand over these documents. 60 days from that, so say end of April, May, June. So we're saying, I think still, early summer, this thing settles. And maybe before that, because at some point they are going to be forced to come to the table for a settlement. So I'm still thinking settlement sometime, late spring, May, June, July. The timing is so hard to think because with these legal battles, and the legal process, the timing is never easy to predict because these appeals and it's all up to the judge to come up with her rulings, and we don't know how long that takes. And obviously we've learned, if there's one thing we've learned in this case is that this process is slow, it's grueling, and it's painful, right? So we know, like I said on this channel time and time again, we know Ripple will win this lawsuit. We know that either in a settlement or summary judgment that Ripple will win. Now it's just up to the SEC and when they are forced to hand over these emails and then they come to the table with a settlement. So I guess, like I keep saying, we'll know soon enough. Hopefully that ruling comes down for those emails to be, so Judge Netburn will first say that, hand over the emails, and then the SEC will appeal to Judge Torres, and then Judge Torres, maybe a month later, will say, no, I agree with Judge Netburn. You should hand over the emails. And then hopefully that will, push the SEC towards a settlement. So the last thing I want to say here is this is a tweet from Digital Asset Investor. And this is something that I didn't even know that was going on either. But I'll just read the tweet here. I don't remember this one, but wow. Ripple subpoena to One River Asset Management to gather information on Jay Clayton SEC communication with them. So why this is so important is that One River Asset Management is that's the management company that Jay Clayton went to work with after he left the SEC. And it just so happened that One River Asset Management is highly invested in Ethereum, right? Like one of the biggest investment companies in Ethereum and Bitcoin. So obviously, what would benefit him the most by going to that company? That Ethereum free pass speech that Will Hindman gave while he was at the SEC. And obviously, we know that Bill Hindman was getting paid $15 million by a law firm that was representing Ethereum. So it's like we never understood why Bill Hindman and Jay Clayton were so adamant about giving Ethereum a free pass, but also, obviously Jay Clayton brings a lawsuit against Ripple on the last day of his administration. This always just seems so shady. And then he goes after he leaves the SEC, after he files this lawsuit in the last day of his job, then he goes and works for One River Asset Management Company, which is highly invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, who does this benefit? Who does that speech benefit? Who does that speech benefit the most? Obviously, William Hindman and Jay Clayton. So this is why we always say we need investigation, because if this is just a coincidence, then that investigation would show that there was no impropriety there. But until we get that investigation, these are the questions that need to be had. So I'm just, they can call us conspiracy theorists, like I said, but until we get an investigation and until we get the full story behind all this, I mean, you got to admit this is shady as hell, right? So then Digital Asset Investor said this. This was on reply to a Zero Hedge tweet. What's increasingly clear is how much corruption has been involved in propping up Ethereum. If you want the truth, look me up. Now, he's talking about, so Zero Hedge tweeted this out. One River is saying this. It's increasingly clear that the future of finance runs on Ethereum. So One River is obviously the One River Capital is the company that Jay Clayton works for. They are saying that it's increasingly clear that the future of finance runs on Ethereum, right? Jay Clayton, while he's at the SEC, gives Ethereum that full clarity. It's only Ethereum and Bitcoin get the clarity, leaves everybody else in purgatory, especially XRP. I mean, you got to see the connection here. I mean, you're telling me there's no conflicts of interest here? I mean, he's the chair of the SEC. He gives Ethereum a free pass. He sues the competitor, the direct competitor of Ethereum. He sues XRP and Ripple. And then he goes and works for a firm that is 100% invested in the future of Ethereum. I mean, do I have to, as Digital Asset Investor says sometimes, does my 5-year-old or my 10-year-old need to write you a picture? I mean, how clear does it have to be, right? Like I keep saying this, but they keep calling us conspiracy theorists. How clear does it have to be when they can finally bring an investigation? I mean, it just goes to show how deep does the corruption, go. I had a video about Warren Davidson yesterday about that he might be involved with this Ethereum free pass because he's invested in Ethereum. I mean, it's all about the money. You follow the money and it'll always tell you the truth, right? So I hope they need an investigation. I know John Deaton is pushing for it. I know the XRP community is using John Deaton's Crypto Law Connect to Congress to reach out to your congressmen and congresswomen to get an investigation going. Because without an investigation, this keeps going, right? The SEC keeps doing their corrupt, regulation by enforcement strategy, killing innovation in this country, and the corruption just keeps going and going as it's been going for the last, couple of decades now. So until the people stand up and ask for an investigation, this will just continue. So I'll end it there, guys. Just know that your pain is felt by. We're all in this together. We're all feeling the pain here because government agencies and corrupt agencies within our government picking winners and losers. It's the most un-American thing you can think of, right? So leave it at that. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. But remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Please do not take anything I write or say as financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. And thanks, guys. And we'll see you on the next one.